Hello and welcome back. So, a couple quick things for you. First, book news. Jack has signed the new contract. So, late January he will begin the audiobook of The Sakarith, and he's now finding out there's a whole bunch of new characters in the Sakarith. I think like maybe two of them are from the original four books, so he's gonna have some fun with that. He's already started looking at it and sending me questions about some of the characters. So that should be good. We're hoping that'll be out late February. Takes a bit to get them through, and you gotta get them through Audible and everybody else. But we're hoping late February to release book 5 on audio. So we're well on our way to having the entire Lost Tales out in audio. That was a goal I really had a couple years ago, and we had to drop it because some things happened. But we're back on track and doing well. I'm hoping to have them all out in audio before Mage Hunter releases. So for a short period of time, all books will be on audio. Eventually we'll look at Dragon Masters, but right now we're focusing on getting Lost Tales out. One big pile of bills at a time. Second, I found this kind of humorous. I've talked about Fantastic Creatures. Well, there's a new review on it. The 15th review. And it says, it's a great book, but really love the movie. I have a suspicion that's not the book they're reviewing. Unless there's a movie made about this book that I didn't know about. So, hey, it's a 5-star review, I guess I'll take it. And I did want to remind you, over here on this screen, Help an Author Christmas promotion is still going on. It's going on through the 31st. We're up to 6 packages fully funded. 6. That means 6 brand new authors will have a shot at getting a jump start to their career. So that's really cool. PattyJensen.com/promo. And the link will be below because I'm saying her name wrong, I'm sure. She's from the land down under, so I'm just making some guesses. So head out to her site, check it out. You'll see below the promo all the authors that are currently sponsoring it. Check out some of their books. If you like one, pick them up. Those books are not on sale. They're just books listing what authors are in the promo. We're not looking to do anything but try to help out some other beginning authors. And on that subject, got an interesting news report here from, here it is, from Mental Floss. There's on the webpage, there's a picture of a mail truck, but the mail truck has nothing to do with the story, but it's a picture. The subject, or the title, I always say subject, the title of the news report, Butt Dial Leads to Arrest. So, Danville, Kentucky, these two guys are chilling out, making their plans to rob a store. And one of them sits on his phone and it dials 911. So 911 operator is listening to make all their plans. And she calls ahead to the store, and there happens to be, it's a restaurant. It's a Brothers Barbecue restaurant. And there happens to be a police officer inside having a meal this time. So they call the police officer. He walks out to their car and finds the two men are sitting in the parking lot planning the robbery while it's being recorded by 911. And is able to arrest them because they were drinking while in the car. So next time you're planning your big robbery, you might want to check to see if your phone's turned on. Yeah, I've actually butt dialed 911. It's been probably 10 years since that happened. I didn't think modern phones would do that. Modern phones are smarter than that, but I guess not, because these two men in Danville, Kentucky, got arrested while planning a robbery. They didn't execute the robbery. Oh, and right under it, there's this neat little warning. It probably won't show up. It's probably too much of a glare. But apparently there was a moose on the loose in Alberta, Canada, licking people's cars. I don't know, maybe the cars are covered in salt from the roads. It really doesn't say in the article. But yeah, it says licking the salt off the So you're cruising around in your car through Alberta, Canada, and you know they salt the roads because they don't want to die from ice. And our cars are covered in salt, and the moose are licking them. I don't know if you've seen the moose, but they're kind of big, and I wouldn't want to get in between him and the salt, that's for sure. Last week we talked about the new Amazon stores. You can just walk in, steal stuff off the shelf, stuff in your pocket, and run out the door, and you'd be charged because everything in the store is tracked. Well, there's another store trying something in Milan, and what they're doing now is, where Amazon's going to track you in order to charge you, this store will track everything you do. So when you pick up an orange, on the screen in front of you will come up the date the orange was picked from the plant, how long it's been sitting, what kind of fertilizer was used, and they're going to have all this extraneous information about every product you pick up pop up on the screen as it notices you pick up the product. And they think that this is going to help shoppers somehow. I think it's a really bad idea, mainly because it's going to be information overload. And a handful of shoppers are going to be like, oh wow, that's cool, and stand there and read it, blocking everybody else from getting to the food who just wants to grab that orange, throw it in a cart and move on, because they got 6 screaming kids in tow and they don't have time to be reading these screens. So I think it's one of these neat ideas that in practice isn't going to work out, but we'll find out because they're trying in Milan. Again, though, it's one of these, they're tracking all of this and they're saying they're doing it to give you some good information, but what are they going to do with all that tracking information that they're storing in their database? I don't know, but that's also on mental floss. There's a picture, you probably can't see it, but you can go out to the mental floss site and see it. It looks kind of like a Whole Foods actually, but it's Milan, so who knows what the name of the store is. Designed at MIT, so there you go. In the cool, successful science news, NASA launched a rocket from their, what do they call it? Orbital stargazer. So what this is a big old airplane. It looks like one of those like C2 cargo carriers, but it cruises up to about 40,000 feet or so. On the bottom of it is a rocket. So here it comes. Oops, let's not drop the iPad on the floor again. So here comes the plane. It cruises up, and the rocket falls off the bottom. The plane goes away. And then after the rocket is clear, it kicks on its jet engines, or its rocket engines, and it flies the rest of the way up to orbit. And this one's carrying 8 satellites. Now these are what they call microsatellites, so they're smaller. They're still carrying 8 of them. And they're going to go up. They're actually up there right now. And they're going to monitor hurricane winds, but they're going to do it without using very much energy. Normally, to track weather, we have to send a signal down to the planet and bounce it back up and read the interference. These satellites are going to cheat. We already have GPS satellites up there that are broadcasting down. So they're going to intercept the GPS signals that are bouncing back up and use them to read the response and get better hurricane measurements. So we'll be able to track storms across the Atlantic. It should be pretty cool if it works, and it makes it really cheap since we're reusing the signals that the GPS satellites are already sending. We'll know, I think a couple of months we'll know a lot more, but the satellites just went up this week and they made contact, and now we have to wait and see. But it's looking very promising for these little low power, inexpensive satellites to be tracking hurricanes. It's pretty cool that they're launched from a plane, because jet engines, the type of engines on an airplane, are extremely efficient. Rocket engines are not. So getting them up, the rocket up 40,000 feet saves a tremendous amount of fuel. It's kind of the same thing that Virgin Galactic is using for space tourism. I haven't heard much out of them recently. I need to look them up to see if they're still going. But you can find out all about the CYGNSS hurricane satellites on NASA's website. That link will be below too. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, this is kind of fun. We're trying to make better bomb detection devices, and we've discovered that dogs are actually really good at detecting bombs. They can go around and sniff people's luggage and find bombs in them. So they decided to make a dog nose robot. So they took a 3D printing of a dog's nose and they put a piston in it so it breathes like a dog, and it turns out it's like 14 times more efficient than what we're currently doing. So the bomb sniffers that we currently have work like vacuum cleaners. So you turn them on and they just inhale or suck in air, and they're supposedly going to detect bombs that way. The dog's nose, one of the reasons why it's so much more sensitive to ours, apparently is when the dog exhales, more air enters its nose, extending its reach. I'm not quite sure of all the physics of this, but essentially, since the dog's air is going backwards as he breathes out, that's creating a low pressure zone, which is pulling air forward in and making it like his nose is longer. So he's able to smell things significantly less. And then as the air goes inside the nose, they were able to watch through this 3D nose how it recirculates through. Far more efficient than anything we come up with. So now we have a bomb detection that's basically a 3D printing of a dog's nose with a piston in it, and they said 14 times more accurate in detecting bombs. They said it does sound exactly like a dog sniffing. So that's pretty cool. You can thank Fido for the next safe flying streak. Alright. Last thing I want to talk about is this. This is kind of, I'll be honest with you, this one's kind of freaky. And I will paste in a picture of this so you can get an idea. But unless it comes out clear when I look at the video later. This company has come up with something called the Gate Box. It's a virtual home assistant, kind of like an Echo or a Google Home or one of them. Except this one is significantly freakier. And you really will need to go to Engadget's website and watch this video, because this is really kind of awkward, I guess is the way to put it. The Echo, as you probably know, is this little circular sphere, like about this big or whatever, or you have the taller one that's like this, and it's just a cylinder. Google Home's is kind of like a cylinder with a fat bottom, and they're kind of, they have a female voice, but it's very robotic, and you would interact with it like you're interacting with your phone or your computer. It's no big deal. This one, they've taken an anime girl and put her inside a glass bottle as a hologram that you talk to, and she interacts with you. And she giggles, and she smiles, and she winks. And if you're late coming home, she'll send you a text message, ask you where you are. And it's really a little freaky. You're just gonna have to go to Engadget's website and watch the video and see what I mean. She's supposed to basically do everything that Amazon Echo or Google Home does, but it really looks like you have a girl as a slave trapped in a glass bottle in your room. And like I said, and the guy in the commercial talks about how nice it is that somebody's waiting for him when he comes home. I think we're crossing some lines here with this one. So it's called Gatebox, and it's on Engadget's website. The link will be below. I have a feeling now that we're probably going to see more of this kind of thing coming forward. Let's see. It only costs $2,500 if you want one. Apparently she likes donuts. I mean, it's just this one's kind of freaky, people, but I can see us going here, especially if you've ever watched some of the game shows out of Japan. They have odd entertainment out there, and it doesn't surprise me that this is coming from there. Alright, in more serious space news, the last thing I want to talk about is Stephen Hawking and NASA are teaming up to send a probe to Last I heard was Alpha Centauri, but I think they probably will change it to Alpha Proxima. Now we discovered what may be an Earth-like planet circling Alpha Proxima. But it's what they're trying to do is use a solar sail and a really tiny spaceship, essentially, that will go a fifth of the speed of light. If it works, it can make it to Alpha Centauri in about 20 years, instead of, centuries it would take with normal propulsion. And what happens is we put this solar sail up in orbit, and then we shoot it with a laser. The laser pushes it and accelerates it away from us. It doesn't have to carry any fuel because we'll be pushing it from the ground with the laser. The problem is, though, it has no way of stopping. So when it gets to Alpha Centauri, it'll just fly right on by. So we have to hope we got the aiming right, because we will not be able to make any changes to its course and route. It'll just be cruising out there, and if we were wrong, it just misses. But they're supposed to send a whole fleet of them out to Alpha Centauri and check things out. And that could happen in the lifetime of most of the people that are listening to this. Because if they launch in the next year or two, 25 years from now, if you're 75, forget it, sorry, it's not going to make it. But if you're like 50 or younger, it's a good chance you'll see probes reaching Alpha Centauri in your lifetime with this project. They have a problem they're trying to solve right now. They need the spaceship to be small and light, but they also need to have heavy shielding from radiation. So they're trying to figure out how to make it so it'll survive the radiation exposure of outer space and still be small and light. And they're looking at self-healing circuitry using nanowires. So if that works, then even if it gets blasted radiation, it'll fix itself and it'll be able to carry on. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm kind of watching that to see if anything happens out of it. NASA's teaming up with Stephen Hawking to try and help them solve these last few problems. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to be alive when we have a first probe reaching another solar system. Being a sci-fi writer and all that, I think we're going to get out there someday. It just hasn't happened. And, it's better than sitting around buzz-dialing the police while you're trying to make a plan to rob a place, right? Yeah, you got to think, people. If you're planning to do something, turn off your phone. So, that's what I had for this week in science news. Just remember, if you're lonely, you too can get a girl in a glass bottle that will turn the lights on for you when you get home, so you don't have to be lonely. Don't forget about the author promo. Check it out, pattyjensen.com/promo. We are trying to help authors get a start. We have 6 packages funding. If you're not an author, please come and donate. Check out the books from the other authors. If you are a struggling author trying to get started, there's a place on that website to click. It's like a little yellow star in the corner where you can submit your information to have a chance at one of the 6 packages. It is completely anonymous. Only Patty will know who gets them. So check it out. Saccharith, Book 5 of the Lost Tales, audio, late February. That's what I was looking at right now, late February. Maybe a little bit earlier, maybe mid-February, but probably not before February. So that's great news there. Mage Hunter's still chipping away at that. And this is the Christmas season, so things are slowing down for me as far as making forward progress with anything. It's one of the reasons why we pushed off Book 5 of Saccharith to January. It's just too busy this time of year for me. Definitely check that out. Be on my newsletter list, because I send stuff out there, and I do free stuff on Facebook all the time. So check me out. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and email. Those are the best places. And I will have a giveaway. I still have a ton of, I got that whole box of books over there. The thing that you can't see that I'm pointing at right now is all books. I've showed you them before. I think next week. We'll look at another giveaway next week. I'll have to figure out what I want to do. Maybe I'll get you guys to make a video and send it in. Tell me why I should give you a free book. Would you be too embarrassed for that? Let me know. Until next time, as Grandmaster would say, may the real God of creation bless and keep you this day. Goodbye.